Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with my beautiful wife, Karina, from beautiful Venezuela. We went through the K1 visa process just like you guys, and now we're waiting for Karina's green card. Karina applied for her green card, and now we're waiting for that to get adjudicated. And that's going to take probably 4 or 5 months. But this video is, what is an RFE? What's a request for further evidence? What is it? You know, don't have a panic attack if you get an RFE. You know, what it is, it's just a request for more documentation, a request for further evidence, okay? It means that the United States Customs and Immigration Services, USCIS, the officer reviewing your application for your K1 visa needs more information so he or she can make a decision. An RFE doesn't mean that your application is going to be denied or that it's going to be likely to be denied. It just means they need more information so they can continue processing your visa. It's basically a second chance, okay? It's a second chance to review your application. That's all it is. And make sure that you provide everything that they ask for, okay? If they ask for A, B, C, and D, don't give them A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Just give them what they ask for, okay? They're basically, you know, let's suppose you get an RFE for the green card application, or you get an RFE for the K1 visa. They're just trying to find out whether you are eligible for the benefit, whether it's a green card or a K1 visa. That's what they're trying to do. Now, it's very important that you respond to the RFE in a timely manner. Read the letter carefully. Okay, if you don't respond to the RFE in the time frame that they give you, more than likely your K1 visa or a green card is going to be denied. Okay, so the best thing to do is to avoid an RFE. The best thing is to avoid getting the RFE. If you're missing initial evidence for your K1 visa, number one, that's how you get an RFE. The number one reason is you failed to provide all the documents or forms or other evidence that's necessary to prove you're eligible for the benefit, whether it's for a K1 visa, green card, or the spousal visa. Okay? If you don't provide the evidence that you are entitled to this benefit, then you're going to get an RFE asking for that information. Okay? Or they may just deny the whole thing right off the bat. So it's very important, okay? The number one reason for an RFE is you're missing evidence, initial evidence. Another reason for an RFE is that the sponsor doesn't make enough money, okay? And didn't provide a joint sponsor in the initial processing of whether it's for the green card or for the K1 visa application at the embassy. Now, when you apply for a green card, a marriage-based green card, the U.S. citizens got to make above 125% of the federal poverty guidelines, above it, not right on it, above it. If you are right on the 125%, okay, of the minimum income requirements, or you're about $1,000 above or $2,000 above, get a joint sponsor, okay? Even though the immigration says you got to be at 125%, you got to be above 125%. Immigration officers are getting very strict on income on the American citizens sponsor side. Okay? If you don't earn enough money, Miss Sponsor, Mr. Sponsor, don't worry. Get yourself a joint sponsor or a family member who can help you with this process. Immigration's not trying to block you from getting your K1 or your green card. They just want to make sure that your sponsor and his or her sponsor, joint sponsor, can help take care of you while you get established in the United States of America without depending on the government for assistance. Another common occurrence, a common reason for an RFE on a green card application is that you are missing or you didn't provide proof of legal entry into the United States of America. So what is proof of legal entry? Well, a copy of your I-94 travel history document, number one. Okay, that's the form that U.S. Customs and the Border Patrol Protection use to track arrivals and departures of people, including legal immigrants, okay? So if you arrived in the United States by a plane, through an airport, or by a boat, you're going to get an I-94, but it's going to be computer generated. So you're going to have to go to a website to look up the I-94 and print it and include it in your green card application. Okay, if you entered by land, you should get a paper copy. Okay, that's the way it is. If you've lost your original I-94, you can file Form 101, I-102, excuse me, if you have lost your I-94, you can't find it, and the CBP, the Customs and Border Patrol website, doesn't show it's available, you can request the I-94 filing Form I-102 and get a replacement I-94. Very important. Don't forget to include it in your green card application. If you don't, you get an RFE. Another common occurrence for an RFE is you're missing document translations. Okay? If your documents like your birth certificate, your letter of intent to get married, etc., if they're in a language other than English, you got to get them translated by a certified translator into English and include that with your green card application. Some embassies you don't need it, like in Colombia, Dominican Republic, the beautiful Colombia, beautiful Dominican Republic. You can go to your K-1 visa interview with your birth certificate, Mr. Beneficiary, Miss Beneficiary, and your police certificate and all that stuff in Spanish. You don't need to get it translated. But when you apply for the green card, you must have it translated into English, okay? And it must be by a certified translator. And a certified translator will have an ATA number. Like, for example, the company, thespanishgroup.org, is a fantastic company that I've used for document translations. But, they don't pay me to say that. I'm just telling you what's a company that we use which immigration accepted. And another reason for an RFE is unusual cases, okay? Let's suppose you're on your second K-1 visa, or, you can write a letter of explanation as to what happened to the first K-1 visa, okay? Let's suppose you withdrew an application, or you withdrew a green card application for another person, whether it's an ex-spouse or a family member. If you have that in your immigration history, you need to write a letter of explanation explaining what happened, because there's a good chance if you don't give an explanation, you'll get an RFE from immigration asking you to provide an explanation. What happened to the first green card? What happened to the first K-1 visa? What happened? Okay? That's it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Those are the basics reasons for getting an RFE. Stay calm, stay patient, and don't forget I do a live stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 6 p.m. I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't give you any legal advice. I don't work for the government. I don't work for immigration. I don't work for any companies that process K-1 visas. I've got 9 years of experience, 9 years of battle-hardened, walking through the trenches, wading through the mud puddles of immigration. See you at the live stream. Thanks for watching.
I'll be back.